Welcome back, everybody, to Dunce Games and DCGTV. It's Charles and Kyle, and we're here doing a box opening of Kyle's new toy called Frosthaven, a big adventure game, the follow-up to Gloomhaven.
Yes.
So, Kyle, tell us about Gloomhaven first, I guess.
I will. Yeah, I will. First, just so you understand the magnitude of this.
Oh boy.
This thing is like...
Getting the workout.
You're talking pretty heavy piece of cardboard.
I need to get to the gym, I tell you. Man.
Alright, so yes, Frosthaven. This game is designed by a guy named Isaac Childers. And now for Frosthaven, he designed this with a team, but the story of where this game comes from starts with its predecessor, which is called Gloomhaven. And this one guy, Isaac Childers, developed this game over the course of years of... tons of different enemies, characters you can be. It's a dungeon crawl, so you're advancing through this storyline, making choices that affect what you're allowed to do or not.
Okay.
Leveling up your character, retiring your character, getting new items. You understand.
Yeah, that's a huge interesting thing for me, because you can carry a character basically through its lifetime, right? Because it can grow, it can die, it can do whatever, but it can also just retire because you played him so much, right?
Yep. When you start a character in Frosthaven, it's the same way. You get a personal quest. And so that might be kill 10 forest imps or find 5 different types of herbs, whatever.
Yeah.
And when you do that personal quest, when you complete it, then that character retires.
Okay.
And then you
start. So there's some finite thing that character has, and then it's like, I've done it, I'm out.
Yep.
Okay, and you can't keep playing that person.
You could, but you'd start that same character at level 1 again, give it a different name. It could be a different character, same class, but different name.
Gotcha.
And interesting, you can actually carry characters from Gloomhaven into Frosthaven.
Yeah, if they haven't completed their quest, huh?
Or, well, if you really just enjoyed that type of character, you can bring them into the new game. It's compatible.
Different classes of characters?
Yes.
Okay, so kind of, I don't want to throw out the AD&D reference, but sort of like building a fighter or a wizard or something like that.
Exactly. And it's what makes, I think what added to the game's popularity was the character classes are not your stereotypical fantasy characters.
Okay.
Like you'll have like a rogue or like a scoundrel, that kind of character, and then a brute like a tank. Like so those exist, but then you have weird stuff like there's one character that's a bard, which is kind of a typical fantasy character, but the songs like buff everyone, and you can throw curses out and everything. Nice. Or there's a what would be another one? My brain's blanking a little bit. There's one character in Gloomhaven you unlock by completing a certain quest, and it's this doom stalker guy that runs around and puts doom on enemies. The enemy has doom, you can hit it harder.
And you get a doom.
Yeah, you get a dooms. Yes. But anyway, long story short, Gloomhaven launched maybe 7 or 8 years ago and was wildly popular, unexpectedly so, on Kickstarter, and became the #1 rated game on Board Game Geek. And this is a behemoth like this, and it's complicated, so it's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
As a result, Isaac released a couple expansions, one called Far Out in Circles, and then a smaller version of a standalone kind of Gloomhaven mini called Jaws of the Lion. But the goal of all that was to get this one out. This is the actual full kind of V2 of Gloomhaven.
It's massive, and I'm looking at the graphics on this thing, and they are friggin' cool and awesome. I'm going to take a few pictures while Kyle's talking about it, so you can all get the majesty of it.
Yes, and so I, as a huge fan and somebody who's been obsessed, playing tons of Gloomhaven, kickstarted this thing as soon as it was available and got my package about 3.5 weeks ago, and am super stoked. This is not a virgin unboxing video.
That's okay.
Yes. So, because when I kickstarted it, we got the game, I got an organizer, 2 organizers, one for maps, one for the actual game itself, and then a bunch of other add-ons like individual quests and removable stickers and all that jazz. And so what we wanted to do for you guys today is show you what you get in a game of Frosthaven.
Oh my goodness.
So Badoo.
Oh, the box is even cool on the inside.
Right? And this is a little organized. I've already gone through a bit. All these little bags here are the different types of enemies that you'll find yourself fighting. So you got Algox, Snow Speakers. There was one that had an especially awesome name. See if I can find it. Got Oozes, Living Dooms. Anyway, we'll see if I find it. There's an enemy that I'm excited to engage called the Piranha Pig.
Do they have some of the enemies from Gloomhaven that make a reappearance?
They do. They
Okay.
do. Especially some of the old favorites, like there's the ooze, and then there is a succession of demons. So you have sun demons, earth demons, wind demons, all the elements are covered.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's some fan favorites that you can't get away from, right?
And some fan nemesises. Like nobody likes the ooze, and everybody was very upset to see the oozes were back.
Oh, no.
So you got your enemies. Here is an interesting...
That's all enemies.
Those
that
are
whole
all
pile.
different bad guys.
Wow.
Now this is kind of cool. In the game of Gloomhaven, you have a map. And then when you do missions, you put stickers on that map to show you did it. Which exists here as well. The main difference is they made this flowchart for you. So this...
So is Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, they are kind of one and done once you
Yes.
complete the mission. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and they would
But it's
call
so massive that, I mean, it's, if you can get through it in... This is not like a weekend
No.
kind of a thing.
No, you'd be looking at a good probably year and a half of your life to get through this thing. But anyway, so this is all the available missions. There it goes. In Frosthaven. You start here with 1. We did this the other night because I couldn't stop myself. That opened up 2 and 3, which aren't available.
Oh.
And then you can see like 4 is going to open up all these different directions you could go.
Depending on the choices that
Yeah.
you make. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, life choices, people.
Yeah, and a big difference between Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. So Gloomhaven, you do your mission, you come back to town, you do a city event. That event gives you things or hurts you, and then you can buy stuff at the store and trade and equip your character. And you're in the city doing city stuff. Frosthaven, you're going out to this outpost, and so you're out like in the north. And so when you go back to Frosthaven, you have to use resources to build like walls and buildings.
Oh, you got
And
to
you're
build like your
Yeah.
home, huh?
building up the
strong
settlement. And so I'll kind of show you what that looks like here as the unboxing continues.
So this would be sort of like the regional map then, huh?
Yeah, this helps you, and this didn't exist in Gloomhaven. It helps you organize like where you are and what you're doing. So you can see here, this is the map. The bottom half is the city of the outpost of Frosthaven. And so you can put stickers on to build these lots into buildings. You can complete the wall, make it tougher. And then out here is like the wilds. And so these are all the different missions, these little numbers.
Oh, that correspond to
Yes, that
your
correspond to
chart
that.
there. Okay.
And so you can see we have like these little stickers here because we unlocked these 2 missions by doing the first one, which is right over here. And the first one was basically get to Frosthaven, the city's on fire, you save it, and the city's like, thank God, help us build this city.
Nice.
We're in trouble.
Well, they could have used a little warmth.
Yeah. Let me show you this next little crazy bit of Frosthaven. So, rule book, boom. Section book, boom. Scenario book.
Wow.
That's a lot of paper.
So rule book, I would assume pretty similar to Gloomhaven's.
It
rule
is.
book,
They've
probably
refined some
changes.
stuff. There's a few little things that I won't go into that they've improved as far as the rules and the flow of the game.
Yeah.
You know, they listen to feedback. But this would be when you're setting up a map. Like you'd come in here and it would show you, okay, this map tile, these are the monsters, this is what the goal is. And so you progress through. One thing they did is, so if you would start on a scenario, like say we're doing this first mission here, they'll show you you're going to use 3 map tiles, but you're not allowed to reveal the next ones until you actually open the door, so you don't know it's behind the door.
Oh, okay.
The idea is
that
you
makes sense. Yeah.
can't really plan for it.
Yeah.
So these 2 books work together to show you what you're going to actually do. And then this book is the rules, and it's definitely...
Yeah, it's a bit of a novel or a
Yeah.
novella, right?
Right? It is no joke.
Nice.
Some other fun stuff. This is some sort of a code book you're not allowed to open until you reach
So
a
you have
certain
to-
point.
Till you need it. Right?
Yeah. This is all different stickers that change the rules and change the town. Very big experience. This is pretty fun. So as you're doing Frosthaven, you collect herbs as part of your loot. And then if you combine the herbs in a certain way, you get potions.
Oh.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like alchemy
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
We got over here extra organization for the game. We got tokens, terrain, all sorts of crazy stuff going on. And here, why don't you get a shot in here?
Oh my goodness!
You can see the extra deep levels of cards.
Yeah.
And
that's very well organized for a game. You got
damn.
something hanging off the bottom.
It's a little character reference cheat sheet. We got item cards, modifier cards, special challenge cards, city events, road events, all sorts of madness. And then continuing in, this is the bottom of the box, actually.
Yeah. So Kyle and I are also game designers with our games Soup to Nuts and Compatibility, but so simplistic compared to what we've done. We felt pretty proud when we came up with cans and cards and stuff, but holy moly.
This thing is a behemoth.
Yeah.
And so with the Kickstarter, I got a few other options to organize it, and they all sucked. So I'm sticking with the Frosthaven default organization.
So the Kickstarter allowed you to get, I think you said, like an accordion file and some other stuff.
There's a map tiles, which I didn't bring, so there's a whole bunch of maps that you kind of put together like puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And it came with a A to Z accordion folder, so you could organize it and do a little quicker access.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But this actually, but it's not like a game where, I mean, there may be add-ons in the future, right?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, this thing has been blowing up, so it's probably pretty darn popular on the gaming.
It is. There's already people on Twitch streaming their games on YouTube. It's pretty wild. But check this out. This is a cool thing that came with the Kickstarter that I think is just so cool in the world of games. So hold on a second here. It actually came with an app, and somebody went through this entire game, every card you would read, any buff you would get, and they hired a voice actor to read everything.
No, really?
And I'm going to play you the intro here, the prologue. It's not super long, 2 minutes here. This is Welcome to Frosthaven, and this is for every mission.
With your head down, you march, one foot, then the other. You try to block out the pain, the throbbing in your toes, the numbness in your face. Just keep the rhythm, you think. 1, 2. But the wind isn't so easily ignored. It claws at you, whipping up ice and snow like tiny hooks, making every breath difficult. Your skin is thick. You always prided yourself on that. But nothing is thick enough for this. You are walking through the frozen wastes. A place far to the north where only the hard and the lost dare to travel. Of course, that's probably why they hired you. It's been 10 days of plowing through snowdrifts as high as your waist, and there's still no sign of the town. Your mercenaries, hired as part of a support team, the first group of the season sent to check on humankind's most distant outpost, Frosthaven. It's a place forgotten by most of the world, a tiny settlement carved out of the frozen wilderness that, for half the year, is wholly cut off from the Empire, isolated by towering, unbreachable drifts. But as of last week, just enough snow has melted off the Imperial Pass for a team to get through. They were hiring, and your coin purses were empty. So then, here you are. No one really knows what awaits you in Frosthaven. Your snow-muddled mind struggles to imagine what sort of people could survive through the winter in a place like this. But whoever's there, you hope, at the very least, they've left a fire going.
Yes. Yes, so now that is from the company?
Yeah, it came with the Kickstarter. It's a separate company called Foreteller. And I've been looking at it a little bit. I guess they specialize in voice acting narration of board games. So you can get games, and then somebody will read all the things. So you can just pick the section, hit play, and then have the game read to you instead of always.
Do you guys utilize that quite a bit?
This is the first time I've ever seen it.
Oh, okay.
So the mission we did yesterday, and they even had different voice actors for like if there was a different character that came in, it was somebody else's voice.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Nice.
It was immersive.
That's cool.
It definitely pulls you
in.
Got
to get what's his face in there, Morgan Freeman or something.
Yes. And yeah, that's another thing they mentioned. So this is a game that has seasons too. Every time you complete a mission, you do a check. And then when you get through summer, you have to do winter, and everything gets harder and weirder.
Okay.
And so it kind of goes back and forth.
Interesting. So it keeps track of where you're at.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of thought into this bad boy.
Right? The thing is quite crazy, quite epic. All of these things are unlockable. You get 6 starting classes to choose from. The remaining, 11 characters you unlock over time that you don't have access to.
Can you play multiple characters, one person?
You can. If you can play the one-player version is you take 2 characters and control them both. But it also does max out at 4 people, which is kind of a limitation.
Oh, okay. So only 4 players.
Yeah, 4 is the max that can play at a certain time.
I wonder why that is. Is it just because it takes too long to have multiple players, or too many characters on the thing?
Yeah, too many characters on the board, because the maps are all like maybe 6 to 8 hexes wide. If you got too many characters and enemies on there, it would get
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is too bad. I mean, 4 is fun. The group that I've been playing that we started with was myself, my girlfriend, and my brother. So there's 3 of us.
Right.
And 3 feels good, and 4 feels pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your daughter, your kid Arrow, plays as well.
Yeah.
And has their own character and everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Props to Arrow. This game is 14 plus, and Arrow's hitting it at 11.
Nice.
Got it figured out.
Right on. Well, it could be 14 plus because of the blood and gore, but
Nah,
that's not it. That's
not it.
Yeah, much better than playing video games, ladies and gentlemen.
Right? Way better. But yes, this game is a beast. I am super excited about it. If you haven't played the Gloomhaven series, a good place to start is the one called Jaws of the Lion.
Okay.
It's a smaller one. It follows all the same mechanics, so it's an easy way to get familiarized with the world if you're thinking about it. I'd start there. You're not supposed to jump into Frosthaven without having played Jaws of the Lion or Gloomhaven.
Okay.
Because they kind of expect that you have a base level of knowledge.
Yeah, how to figure things out.
Yes, but very cool game, very interesting mechanics. I've heard it described as like Dungeons and Dragons without a dungeon master, because the rule book kind of explains all the rules.
Yeah, it takes care of it for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you're sort of tied to the missions, but the missions are plentiful.
Yeah.
And there's different directions that you can go. So that's kind of a very cool mechanic. So it's not as linear as you would expect.
Totally.
Have you not cheated, but have you sort of cheated yourself and gone back and looked at what would have happened if you'd gone a different way?
I mean, yeah, I did a little bit because I wanted to see, you know. And we got to a point towards the end once we beat the final boss where it's like, hey, like, I know we have to do this one thing to get this one piece of like text and storyline unlocked, but I want to know what it is. So, you know, you can do what you do. When you are playing it, like, you'll have these events where you'll read a scenario or a situation.
Yeah.
And you'll read this event, and then you'll be given options. Like, if you might run into somebody on the road that's struggling, and it'll be like, option A, kill him and steal his stuff. Option B, offer him a hand.
It's always an option.
Yeah, and so, like, depending on your choices, like, your reputation goes up and down, and your money goes up and down.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of building your party and your individual character along kind of the choose-your-own-adventure path, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for you. I don't know,
it is quite
just because of the time consumption, how much I would be able to dive in with you guys, but I am excited for you.
Yes.
It's very cool.
This is a game that is definitely a commitment.
Yeah.
And like I have it set up in my garage on the pool table. And once it's set up, it's a little quicker to play. But these kinds of games, you can't, like, if you have to break it down and set it up every time, it really is taxing.
There was a recent South Park episode where it was spring break and Stan wanted to set up his Warcraft 40,000 or 40K.
Warhammer
40K.
Yes.
And his dad's like, you do whatever you want. And so he sets up, he's like, doesn't want to have to take it down, so he's got his buddy over and they're just blowing up the Warhammer stuff. And it's pretty funny. But I totally get it, man, because when you got to put shit away and
these kinds of games.
Yeah, man, it takes a while.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and do, as we kind of get into it, I'll try and do a few videos.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That we could get popped up on the tubes if you guys want to see some of the gameplay of it itself.
Yeah. I think we did play the standalone...
The Jaws,
The Jaws, I think is what I remember. Because I remember the books and the scenarios and I think we played one scenario out of that.
Yeah, I
But
think
that
so
sounds
too.
familiar. But yeah.
And what's cool with these games too, like if there was a weekend where, for example, you come play around, like you could start a character, and then that character would just be only played when you showed up. Like it's neat where you could have like say your core group of 3 or 4 gamers, and then if you had a friend that wanted to come in and play, they could. You just could only have 4 at one time. Right. But you can have new characters come in and go and start. Like, that's all good.
All right, we're back after being so rudely interrupted by dogs.
Do what they do.
But yeah, man. Check out Frosthaven. I know it was a Kickstarter thing. It's in stores now too, though, right?
It is. Yeah, there were retail backers as well. So
do we want to kind of say what the cost range was?
So I kickstarted it for $250,
which ain't bad for as much as you got.
And I think it's and that came with a bunch of other stuff. I think it's gonna MSRP at about 190.
Yeah, okay.
200 or something like that.
And that won't include.
Tucker doesn't like that price.
He doesn't like whatever's out there. But that doesn't include some of the Kickstarter.
No, like the app that has like everything read to you and the organizer.
That would all be
accordion
extra.
tiles. Yeah, that would be extra. And those are kind of sometimes Kickstarter exclusive things.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get the app. Like you can just buy the app. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a big game. It's fun to play. It's a beast. It's probably gonna consume my life for a while.
That's okay, but we're still going to get him over here to play some Zombicide, and we're still going to play some of the other games, because we've got some fun stuff coming up, too.
We do. And Charles, before we go there, was this enough to get started on some drink ideas?
I think so, because I love the idea. So I'm kind of, I'm a Game of Thrones fan, so I kind of got like the wall up there. Thinking some mead stuff, so look out in the next few weeks. We'll probably have a drink. Yes, we need to mix some herbs in. That would be great. Is there like a mead that you could put some rosemary or something
that would be pretty cool.
Maybe some torched up flaming rosemary. Might be kind of cool. Yeah, we'll have to do that, man.
Frosty glass.
Yeah. Well, hey, shoot us a comment. Let us know questions if you're interested in buying it. Kyle would love to answer your questions about this in Gloomhaven, especially as he works his way through all the scenarios.